The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is an amazing game. If you play Breath of the Wild, then you're gonna absolutely love this one. There's so much to do. The map is much bigger, and it's just amazing. The creativity has been amplified by like 10 times. I mean, it can't get much better than this. And that's why I wanted to make this video, is I wanted to show you guys some early game tips and tricks to take advantage of some of the new abilities and just the map in general to make your life a lot easier and honestly to have more fun. Now, the first few things I want to talk about are the abilities. Now, these are obviously the most important thing that you will have on you throughout your adventure in Hyrule and the skies above and whatnot. So this is something that I really wanted to touch on because I know a lot of people are going to overlook these things, or they're not going to have them in their mind the same way that they did with the abilities in Breath of the Wild. Like I said before, this map is completely different, and this map was designed around these new abilities. And the first ability I'm going to talk about briefly is Ultrahand. Now, again, you get a pretty good tutorial on the Sky Island, the Great Sky Island, when you first start out in the game. So I'm not going to talk about it too much. However, it's really, really nice to have when, you know, you'll start to kind of roam around Hyrule and you'll start to see just objects laying around everywhere. Okay, you're gonna start to see like piles of wood and wheels and carts and all kinds of stuff, and you need to really think about those things when you see them because they're there for a reason. So make sure that you're utilizing this stuff, you know, all the time, everywhere you go, because right here, this is a perfect example of it. You know, this is one of the places that you need to use this ability is right after you get out of the shrine. You know, obviously you need to build yourself a little bridge, and this is going to be everywhere in Hyrule. This is going to be everywhere in the map. The Sky Islands, Hyrule, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but some other places as well. So make sure that you look at the map with these abilities in mind. Now, the next ability I want to talk about is an ability that I really never even used in my first playthrough of the game, and I kind of struggled because of it. Again, this map is designed around these new abilities, so you need to make sure that you're utilizing them everywhere. Okay, and that's going to be the Ascend ability. So if you, like, for instance, if you go over here, I'm on the Great Sky Island. This is where you start out, right? Again, this is designed specifically for these abilities. If you go over here, you can see I already found a Korok seed, right? And it's because there was a missing little pillar here. And if you're thinking without the abilities in mind, you're going, it's just a missing pillar. It's just a part of the, you know, the design. It looks kind of cool, looks kind of, you know, old school, whatever, right? Well, it's there for a reason, right? And it's because obviously if you go over here and you ascend, you're gonna get that Korok guy. The last ability I want to talk about, or actually the last two, we'll talk about recall real quick. Now, recall is really important because you can use it in battles a lot. You can use it in your fights all the time. So if you ever have a mob or a monster that's gonna throw something at you, you can recall it and have it go back to them, throw it back to them, and that's something that's really cool. I want to see if I can get one of these mobs over here to shoot something at me, or at least throw something at me. I want to see if I can recall it back. Yeah, I wonder if I can recall a rock back. Let's see. Watch this. Oh man, this is so funny. You could have a field day with this. Just recalling stuff back. Oh jeez, where'd you come from? It just showed up from behind. I want to show you another point about the recall ability as well. Hold on, let me get back down to the mainland. Let me go back down to Hyrule, and I want to show you what I'm talking about. You want to see another cool one? Look at this. Recall back to this guy. He's gonna sit there and watch. He's gonna poke his head up. Bonk. Just knocked himself out with the rock he shot at him. Okay, perfect. There we go. Alrighty. So this is what I'm talking about here. You see that rock that just fell out of the sky, or the boulder? I'm about to make a funny reference, but I like to use those to traverse the map. This is basically a way to fast travel all over the place, and it is absolutely, it's just amazing. So you remember in Breath of the Wild, you had Rivali's Gale, I believe is what it's called. So you could basically create a gust of wind so you could fly around. This kind of takes the place of that, makes it a little bit more balanced. But yeah, if you're gonna, all you have to do is just use recall and rewind the rock, and you're gonna fly up into the air. And it goes extremely high, so you can travel a very, very long distance off of one of these rocks, and they fall everywhere. I mean, absolutely everywhere. So just make sure you pay attention to what this rock looks like. It's like a lighter color than the other rocks that are, you know, kind of littered across the map. and you'll either see them fall or they'll already be there, and you basically can just walk up to it, hop on it, and recall it, and fly across, you know, the map. And I mean, look how high up I am. So that's something that's really, really nice. It's just a quality of life thing that they added that I absolutely love. So make sure you're using that everywhere. And before I run out of stamina, let me talk about another tip that I like to use a lot. And that is going to be the scope. So if you scope in, you can look at stuff and you can mark stuff. And since you're so high up in the air, you can sit there and mark a bunch of shrines. See, I've already marked that shrine. And say, for instance, I already marked that tower. Yep, I've already marked the tower. And you can just mark a bunch of different things across the map that you want to go to. Like, for instance, now I just got that one marked. And what you can do from there is, let's see. Yep, I just marked that one, I believe, in, yeah, in red. And see, I've already added the pin there, so I can go and delete this. But you can go in and you can edit the pin to be, say, for instance, a shrine, right? That's going to be a shrine, I believe. This one's going to be a shrine, and so on and so forth. So that's something that I really think that you need to utilize early on. That way, you know across the map where you need to go. See, I have these little, you know, tower looking icons for the towers. So those are the towers that I need to go visit. And again, the stars are going to be the shrines. So just make sure you're utilizing the scope feature. It's going to make your life a lot easier, especially when you're hunting for shrines. Now, I'm going to go ahead and travel to this shrine, and I want to show you something that's really important when it comes to the shrines. So once you start progressing through the game a little bit, you're going to come across what's called the depths, okay? And that's going to be the map that's under the map, okay? So you have the sky, you have the surface, and then you have the depths. Okay, and the reason why I want to talk about the depths is because a lot of stuff in the surface or on the surface correlate to the depths. I don't know if you picked up on it yet, and the reason why I went to this shrine, but if you look at the depths, that's where a light root is. Shrines are going to correlate with the light roots. So anywhere that there is a light root, there is going to be a shrine. See how I have that one marked right there? There's going to be a shrine that I haven't been to right there on that light root. Another thing that I thought was really cool, and I realized this yesterday, was the shrine names spelled backwards are the light root names. So if you look here, it's the Joyson Shrine. We have the Nis Oj light root. I thought that was kind of weird, but honestly kind of cool. So it shows and it proves that it's just the reverse side of the shrine. So anywhere that there is a shrine, there's going to be a light root. So if you want to, you can spend the time and go through, and any shrine that you've marked, you can just say, for instance, I got this shrine here. I can go into the depths and I can go ahead and mark that as that's where a light root's going to be. Again, I go over here. Here's another shrine, right? I go into the depths, mark that. That's going to be a light root. So you can map out where all your light roots are, or, you know, vice versa. Wherever there's a light root that you don't have a shrine directly on top of it, you know there's going to be a shrine there, so you can go back to the surface and go knock out that shrine. Okay, so I came back up here to the Great Sky Island because I want to talk about the fusibility, and I just love the scenery. I love the music, I love the scenery, everything about the Great Sky Island and just the sky islands in general are amazing. I want to get some artwork of the Great Sky Island, and I want to put it up in my office. It's just so beautiful. But let's go ahead and talk about the fusibility. This is something that's going to differentiate between easy mode and hard mode, the way I like to describe it, okay? Anytime you get a weapon in the game, they're gonna have a strength value, okay? So let me go over here to my weapons. As you can see, I have strength values of these weapons. Let me go ahead and I'm gonna destroy this fused material because it's a stick, okay? So this stick has a strength value of 2 according to this here, right? And the durability is not gonna be that good. However, if I fuse something to it, the durability and the strength is going to go up. And depending on what you fuse to the weapon, or depending on what you fuse to the stick or whatever you have, right, they're going to be able to do different things. So say, for instance, if I want to turn this stick into, say, a sword, I can do that by utilizing some of the items that I have in my inventory. So let me go ahead and take a look at some of the stuff that I have in here. The Zonai are going to drop a lot of stuff, okay? So as you can see here, they're called Soldier Construct Horns. Mobs on the ground are going to drop stuff as well. Again, this is a Bokoblin horn. This is a Horriblin horn that you'll run across eventually. So there are different items that the monsters drop that you can use for weapons and to create different weapons. So say, for instance, let me go ahead and I'm going to use this Soldier Construct 2 horn because it has a fused attack power of 8. So I'm going to go ahead and hold that. And then I'm going to go ahead and drop it. Okay. And if you want to do that quickly, all you have to do is press up on your D-pad and you can go over to that item there and you can just you can, whoops, I accidentally sorted it, but you can go over to it and you can drop it from there by hitting X. So as you can see, I have these two little items here, right? And I have my stick on me. So all I have to do is just go to my fuse ability and I can go ahead and fuse something to it. I'm gonna use that construct horn because it looks like a weapon, or it looks like a sword rather. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna fuse it. And now look, I have a sword, right? And it's really nice because it went from I believe an attack value of 2 to now an attack value of 10. So now it says it's a Soldier 2 Reaper. So as you can see, it's a tree branch and a soldier construct horn together. So now you can use it to chop stuff down. Just remember before, you can't chop down a tree with a stick, but now you can chop it down with a little soldier construct horn. So that's what I mean by the difference between hard mode and easy mode. You can use these things not only as weapons, but as tools all across the map. And make sure that any weapon that you have on you, fuse it to something. Fuse it to something because your attack value is going to go up. Like, look, I have this Soldier Reaper 2 here, or Soldier 2 Reaper, and it has an attack value of 26. And all it is it's a Knight's Broadsword with a Soldier Construct Horn, like I just put on that stick. So it raised the value again by 8. So now I have a really nice weapon, and honestly, it looks really cool too. So just make sure you're utilizing that fuse ability as much as you can everywhere that you go. Now, last thing I want to talk about are the giant gumball machines that you're going to find all over the map. And I have one here in front of me. And the reason why I want to talk about them is because this is a new mechanic to Tears of the Kingdom that wasn't in Breath of the Wild. Okay, and as you can see here, I have a little tab that says Zonai devices. I have fans, I have wings, I have rockets, time bombs, portable pots, batteries, flame emitters, you name it. There's a bunch of different things that you can use or that you can get out of these gumball machines that are extremely useful. So when you use your Ultrahand to build things, you can then use these devices to create a rocket if you want to. You can attach this to your shield, by the way, and fly upwards. You can use that as like I guess you could say a poor man's version of Rivali's Gale. You can just strap a rocket to a shield and launch yourself up into the air. You can make yourself a glider or like a wing to fly to different places if you don't have the stamina to get there. You can put a flame emitter on your shield to basically have a flamethrower. There's just a bunch of limitless ways you can use these. And to get them, you need to get to these gumball machines, and you need to put in soldier construct or just construct or Zonai stuff. You can use charges, you can use these horns. Basically, you can use anything that you get off of those Zonai. You can put these in the gumball machine and they'll give you stuff. And something that's extremely important that a lot of people don't really pay attention to is the fact that once you use the gumball machine, it'll tell you what's in that gumball machine and it'll mark it on your map. So like as you can see here, you know, I used the very early one over in the Great Sky Island, and it shows here on my map that it gives you flame emitters, wings, fans, and portable pots. And it even shows you how many of those that you have in your inventory, which I think is extremely nice because if you go ahead and use all the gumball machines at least once, you'll know what's in them. And then you know exactly how many you have in your inventory before you go fly over there to get more of those items, right? So make sure that anywhere you go that has a device dispenser, or I like to call them gumball machines, just make sure you use it at least once. That way you know exactly what is in them. That way later on in the game, if you're missing a device that you need, you can always just go straight back to that dispenser and get yourself a new item. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you hit the like button. Consider subscribing to the channel for more future videos. But guys, thanks so much for watching. Have a great day, great now, wherever you are. And until next time, peace out.